Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to the Chicago White Sox and Out of the Park Baseball 2026. I completely flubbed that, but we're just going to keep plugging away. Hi, everyone. I hope you've had a lovely week since we last talked. We have some decisions to make in this episode as we try to get ourselves back to relevancy, we'll say. Back to something we can be proud of as a unit. Last season wasn't our best. We barely finished over 500, mostly due to a starting pitching staff that's lacking a bit of depth. There may be an answer to that coming in the form of, where do you go? Where's Chris Waters? Oh, is Chris Waters in the Rockies game? Yeah, I think he is. Hmm. Interesting. Well, I have Brian Williams we can always put back in the rotation. We took him out temporarily, but we need some help. We definitely need a fair bit of help if we're going to get back to the promised land, to another World Series title. If we take a quick look at our prospect pipeline, we can have a quick peek at who's handling it. What do we do? Oh, Chris Waters is on loan. I bet to the Arizona Fall League would be my guess. Yeah, there he is. I will let him pitch in spring training. I'm going to give him a chance to earn a job with the White Sox in spring training. If he doesn't do an amazing job, we can always send him back down, but I think he's the kind of pitcher that we need to help really take this rotation to the next level, which is something that I think is going to be crucial for our future success. This is it for Noah Schultz, so that's going to be a decision we have to make. Let's start, as always, with... What do we do with Dan Halpern? So this is an interesting dilemma. It's one that I've actually given myself some thought about between episodes. What do we do with Atsuji Ito? And I know I said last episode we're going to turn him into a first baseman. And I still might do that. But there's also this. Mr. Ito here is incredibly expensive. And he's no longer that much better than the competition. I'm not saying that we're... Up until this past season, by the way, we were getting a decent return on our investment. This is clearly the worst season of his Major League career so far. And that's okay, right? He's suffered some nagging injuries from time to time over the past couple seasons. As long as he gets right and produces what we expect offensively, that's what we need. He's very clearly had the worst BABIP of his career. There's clearly some bad luck happening. And if he gets back to form, I think we'll be a better team. He's not that terrible as a second baseman. This is more just first base has been an issue for us. Oh, no, actually, no, Shiplett's going to play first base, isn't he? Shiplett's going to shift to first base. Ito plays second. So then where do we play her, Barry? Maybe Ito DHs and Barry plays second base. We have Dan Halpern to try to fit in here. The question with Dan Halpern is, do we even keep him? I think we do. I think he has done exceptionally well, that I don't want to lose him for nothing. So let's go ahead and add Halpern to the 40-man. Jorge Marquez. Okay, Jason Miller we add to the 40-man. Oh, I do need to make room, don't I? Okay. We'll wait to add more people. So that is something else we're going to want to think about, is how we're going to sort things out. Yeah. I think Shiplet had a really good rookie season. I think Shiplet has a very high probability of keeping his first base job. I think if we bring in Barry and have him play second, then I think we have ourselves a pretty stellar outfield. Um, so Shiflett at first, Barry at second, Gibbs at short, um, Miney at third, and then Ito DHing perhaps. Um, we have options, but those options do not currently include Michael Estrada. So we're gonna probably be trading him to whoever we can make a good deal with. There's also the very realistic but very good Danny Rios problem, which is where we played him. We have a lot of players that don't really have obvious positions, and I think we're going to have to resolve that here in the coming in this episode. We're going to resolve some issues. I'm going to resolve one issue right now. We're going to trade Jay Brown. I would love pitching. I would be pretty happy if we could get some pitching out of it. It's kind of what I was afraid of. I'm not really getting good pitching. I'm getting average pitching. I recognize I could lose Brown for nothing, but none of these guys are that interesting. Like Marco Lucero doesn't have great control. I don't think any of these guys really move the needle for me, so I'm just going to keep going. I did want to highlight Inside World 422 says, I think AJ Plummer is an outfielder, not a third baseman. He could be right. Oh yeah, he's definitely not a third baseman. He's also not really an outfielder. He's just a really good hitter that probably plays first base or DH. He could muddle through as a third baseman. But if he develops the way that we expect he will, he's going to be such a good hitter that he will force me to find a position for him, which is what I want from my players. But he's not really a third baseman, unless we're just desperate. And I hope we're never quite that desperate. Friends, let's deal with our coaching situation, and then we'll set up our personal development, just like that. So we need to hire a new manager for the A-Ball League. I'm tempted to promote Will Venable, but I guess he's not that good. That's who I keep thinking of. Brett Venable, who's the coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. I keep saying the name Venable. It's like, doesn't that name familiar? I doubt they're related, but I guess they could be. Roberto Arias is a pretty good manager. I think we can promote him to take over A-Ball. And then I just fill in for this. Remember, mechanics are pretty important at the rookie level. Development is great, so I could grab UD Ramos here. No, let's take Ridge Smith. He's actually a manager, and he's at least good at development, so I think this makes sense to me. Mr. Smith, we can bring you along, and then we need a pitching coach. I mean, I would love to get Carlos Garcia. I understand that there might be people who want to give you a bigger job than I can offer you, but I'm pretty into that. The next step is to deal with player development, who's going to get some extra time. Mr. Crank here, I would love for you to work on your movement. Let's do that. Yes, we're trying to get Ito to learn a new position. That's true. We'll see where they put him. Hopefully they'll teach him first base, but you never know, right? I'm pretty happy with Shiflett. I don't really want to mess with his development. I think he'll just get better naturally. Adam Wilson, I'd like you to work on your movement as well. No, Wilson, secondary pitches, 100%. Let's get that done. And then everyone else can just kind of chill and just get better as they like. Prospect time. Herb Berry. Honestly, your offensive skill set is pretty close to complete. I guess you can work on your gap power. I guess that's still something that's useful, potentially. AJ Plummer, let's have you work on your plate discipline. Edwin Hernandez, let's have you work on your plate discipline. Um, Dane Halpern, do I want you to learn a new position? Maybe. A guy from Steampunk, New York. Oh, it's Shawan Gunk. That's not even close. Wow. Okay. Well, Alex Garcia, if you would be so kind as to give me some control improvement, please. And Chris Waters, I'd like for you to try to do the same. Um, Even a boost of 5 in your control is going to be pretty big. This is going to be a big season for you, I think. Let's talk arbitration now. So we offered Kyle Teal a new contract, which is great. I have no problem with that. Let's talk about who gets to keep their jobs. Noah Schultz still is under the delusion that he is worth $20 million a year, which he is not. Like, categorically, he's not worth that much money to me or anyone else. Um, Adam Jones had a pretty good season, I think. I think it is reasonable for him to get a raise. I think that's fine. I'm cool with that. He had a good year, right? Like, he led the league in strikeouts for 9. Um, he wasn't totally helpless. He was a decent starter. I have no problem with him. Dario Perez is somebody I just don't think is worth keeping around. Um, I have too many young pitchers to take a pitcher who spent most of his year in AAA. I don't think it's worth keeping him. Um, Josh Franklin still has a bit of upside on him. I think giving him an extension is reasonable. A nice small extension. That's fine. John Kennett, I think he's got the potential to still be of use to me, and his raise is pretty mediocre. But I don't think he gets a 2-year raise. I think if he doesn't turn out the way we hope he does, I think he probably just disappears. Um, yeah. Alex Mendez, this is kind of his chance to show that he could hang at the major league level. He gave me 110 innings, and nothing he showed me was even slightly interesting. Um, he's already 27, so I don't know that we keep Mendez. I think we maybe let Mendez find a new team. I know he's actually not like that bad in terms of raw skill, but he's not that good either. Um, it does seem like he was a bit unlucky. It does seem like FIP tells us he should have had a better ERA than he did. But the man gave up lots of home runs and also walked. Um, yeah. I guess the benefit of keeping Mendez is he doesn't actually does want a fairly good amount of. Does anybody want him? If we just kick the tires on a trade, is there somebody that people are going to get excited about? I'm seeing some pretty gosh darn good choices. Some pretty solid decisions here. Jorge Davila is an amazing defender. I'm getting genuinely good offers here. I'm actually kind of impressed. Estevan Barron. Okay. I could get behind this deal. I could very much get behind this deal. There's actually a lot of great options here. I like Nick Gamiani quite a bit as well. I think he's got some really nice skills. Huh. I had no clue people were gonna say Alex Mendez and just freak the fuck out. Um, I need pitching depth. I need pitching depth. Um, Barone is really good. He's got some nice high upside, really good control, which means he should be a good innings eater, if nothing else. He's had good numbers in the minors. He just looks like, and he's also got time to get better too, right? Like he's got more time to improve. I like Gummy too, but he's 25, and I don't think he's particularly close to the major leagues. Um, he just spent his entire year basically in high A. That's way too old for. That's way too low for a 25-year-old. I think we go ahead and we take Mr. Barone here. I guess, you know what? Let's get silly here. What if I ask for a package? Maybe I can get really greedy here. I can get Barone and two other players. Nick Harger is not terribly thrilling, but he's not terrible. Valdez is fine, but not exciting. That's more than I was going to get, which actually is going to be just Barone. I don't want a reliever. I keep scouring the league for high quality pitching prospects. I think this is just a deal I have to take. So let's just go ahead and complete the deal. This does, of course. Oh, I guess we don't have to give him a 40-man spot. That's good to know. Let's go ahead and mark Mr. Mendez here as a former White Sox. I picked the wrong deal. Oh my god. I'm gonna reload the game if I can. It might already be too late. Yep. Oh, wow. I mean, Nick Ambrosio is pretty good, but that's not at all what I wanted. Oh, pain. Big pain. It's not a bad deal. It's just not the deal that I wanted. Um, wow. Wow, 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 wow. That was... Wow. Maybe I can get somebody else to give me something here. Braden Osbolt, he's fine, I guess. He wants a gigantic raise. That is not happening. Anybody want Braden Osbolt? No? Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna non-tender you. I refuse to pay you $7 million. That's a waste of money. Adam Wilson's decent. We can give Adam Wilson a bit of an extension. I see no problem with that. You're not gonna be the closer, though. Jay Horner's gonna be the closer. Jay Horner. I wish you weren't asking for so much money already, because that demand's only going to go up as you get older, but you know what? That's fine for now. Alright. Leo Torres has had 3 seasons to show that he can be a solid backup catcher. Um, he's not a solid backup catcher, and I especially don't have anybody that's near the major leagues that desperately needs a job. So Torres gets to come on for another season, but we really need to get our catching in gear. Thankfully, his demands are quite reasonable. For a backup, that is. I'll give you a response. All right, Michael Estrada, how about we trade you? I'm hoping somebody sees the home run totals and is like, oh, dip, what a guy. Oh, I'm so furious with myself. I had a chance to get a genuinely good pitching prospect, and I clicked the wrong fucking button. Wow. I'm gonna regret that one for a while. Tommy Motor is actually pretty good here. I think he's somebody that I want on my team. I think we pulled the trigger for him. Can I get Seth Restivo? Interesting. Restivo is somebody actually willing to give up potentially. I can kind of see why. You're kind of a left field. You're kind of a left-handed junk baller. I actually kind of value that, but not for this. That's not going to happen. So no, thank you. Do I throw in a prospect? What if I offered you Dan Halpern? Okay, Halpern gets us pretty close. I'm not convinced it's a great idea either, but I think Restivo is a very good young pitcher that's got a chance to be pretty solid. I get it that the AI is going to be upset that I'm letting Halpern go, so what if I take Halpern off? Halpern is probably too good. What about Jorge Marquez? I think this is the classic example of the AI overstating its own players. Going like, holy shit, this guy's incredible. Juan Shootman is decent, but I think we're a better team with Restivo and Motor. So already give him a day. Just think that one over. Garrett Kozic has given me 4 consecutive seasons of pretty decent level play. He's not elite, especially because he can't really face left-handed pitching at all. But I think that's not the end of the world, and I think we could get a decent haul if I traded him. But I don't have a ton of outfield options that I really feel confident about. Jorge Marquez could maybe play the outfield, but he's kind of shitty at it. He's kind of really bad at it, actually. So let's give Kozic his raise. I think his raise is still very reasonable. He wants a longer deal. This deal I would take. Let's do that. I think Kozic has been good enough for us that he deserves a raise. This buys out his arbitration years and gives us a couple years of free agency if we want them, which we probably don't. Like, if I'm honest with you, we probably don't even want that, but let's start offering some minor league deals. Oh, Tyler Brown is like, you better make me major leaguer or else. Go fuck yourself. I will offer Hinshaw. Oh, he doesn't want a minor league deal anymore. That's probably fair. I can't say I'm too upset about that. I feel like I probably did Hinshaw and Dingman dirty, given that they were good contributors when I used them. I just didn't really have much call for them. So that's kind of where we are right now. Let's advance a little bit of time and let's see. Okay. I think I have a lot of players like this. I have a lot of Carlos Gutierrez's in my system. This works for me. Wait, what? Huh? I mean, I will take this deal, but it's not the one I asked for, is it? Um, what? Oh, I see. I see. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, you can have two first basemen. I have no problem with that. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Let's do it. Complete trade. I don't remember making this deal. I remember asking for Gumieni, but I don't remember Wolf or Henry, do I? Henry is actually a nice little third catcher. I'm actually kind of happy that we got him. Um, Gumieni 100% makes the roster. Henry 100% makes the roster. We can let Nick Hotch go. Um, I think we trade Jorge Marquez. I truly believe he's not that great, and I'd rather get rid of him when he still has some value. When somebody's still like, holy shit, what a guy. You're like, I'm being offered like genuinely excellent relief pitchers. Like Jimmy Bushell is pretty amazing. He's a borderline starter. Like, I have no problem at all with taking Mr. Bushell off your hands. What are we looking at in a prospect package? Are people that excited about Jorge Marquez that they can give me really good stuff? I mean, Schultzhauer is pretty damned impressive as a prospect. I think maybe we take that deal. I think we just complete the trade. Um, yeah. The maybe the end of Jason Ransom's career. I'm not guaranteeing it, but if this guy can even hit lefties a little bit or hit righties a little bit, he's pretty incredible. Like his raw potential is pretty exciting. So we definitely give Mr. Schultzhauer here a chance in spring training, I think. All right. Oh wow, you just want more money? Okay, I can offer you more money. I don't even care, bro. All right, so we kept Teal. Teal got a 2-year extension. Kozic also got a long-term contract, and then a bunch of other people just got regular contracts. Carlos Garcia is offering you more money. You can have 150 grand too. I don't care. It's not my money. The fans love them some Jay Horner and some Adam Jones. So that's something we're going to want to think about. For sure. I have very minimal money available for free agency, which is a bit of a bummer because I was kind of hoping that we could get ourselves some nice free agents, but maybe not. All right, we got Smith. Garcia is getting even more money. I'll give you 200 grand. If you don't take that, then, well, go fuck yourself. Alright. A gold glove for Michael Estrada. That's funny. I thank him for his contributions to the White Sox, but I think we are far better off with who we got in exchange for him. Nick Notch, go to AAA, I guess. I think Halpern and Barry both make the team. I think we trade Einer Montez. He's not that far removed from having a really good season in the major leagues, but I just think he got lapped. So there might be somebody that still looks at his skill set and thinks that it's something they're interested in. So I am willing to entertain that offer if somebody else wants him. Not for nothing, though. Let's go up to free agency start. Oh, I guess I should check on arbitration to see if any of my new guys have it. Nope. Silver Slugger for Danny Rios. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Damn, Doug Minkevich is a National League manager. That's kind of neat. Ito is frustrated. Keep plugging away, my dude. Did I not get Rookie of the Year with Schiffler? Was it close? Or is somebody just like amazing? It's very possible somebody is just that amazing. AL's top rookie. Wow, Shiflett barely got any votes at all. Was Gene Ritchie really that good? Gene Ritchie was actually really good. A rookie hitting 54 home runs is probably something you can't ignore. I guess. Why can't I have 54 home runs from one player, huh? How much money do I got to spend? It's probably not very much. I have 21 million for a one-year deal. Okay. What do we need the most? What is the biggest obstacle to our success as a club? That's a good question. I will put Jason Miller on the 40-man too. I can shift people around. Danny Claiborne, you had a full season to show me that you can handle playing in the major leagues, and I'm not convinced that you can. But I think I'd rather keep you than Dan Halpern at the moment. I just want to give you a chance to see what you can do before I commit. Okay. Sure. I think a veteran starting pitcher would go a long way. Just one starting pitcher would go a pretty long way. I need more relievers. Well, I've got a bunch of really young relievers that have tons of potential. I don't have very many that are like ready for major league time. Maybe Bill Gerling is. Bill Gerling probably is. That's kind of where I am right now. I want to get some veterans to help stabilize things so that the youngsters have a chance to grow. The lineup with the addition of Schultzhauer and the other guys we've already got, I'm thinking we probably don't mess with the lineup at all. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Between adding Barry full time, letting him play second base, and other things, I think that's just the right move. So, yeah. Barry could also play first base too, but he's really good against both sides of the plate, which I find really rewarding. Let's see what free agency has to offer us. Who are the good ones? I'm not paying $26 million for Dongmoon On. That's fucking stupid. I just said I wanted a veteran starting pitcher, and I think Takayuka Hirota definitely qualifies. He's also 37 years old. But he has put up pretty big numbers in limited playing time. Maybe a guy like Hirota is what we want. I'll tell you what I'm going to give you, my friend. I'm going to give you a 1-year deal and see how you turn out. Nobody else here is better than what I've currently got. I'm definitely not paying that much money for Dongmoon On. I had him already. He's not worth $20 million. Are there any other interesting players? I'm just looking for interesting right now. Like, maybe they got really high potential and just need a minor league home, maybe. I have no problem with offering him a contract. Sure. Wait, weren't you on my team? You were on my team. Oh, you must have left as a minor league free agent. Okay. No, I don't want Watanabe. I want Rotondo. I could get Mr. Tibbs back for the low price of like $18 million. That seems silly. I'm just grabbing up high... I'm trying to get more relief value in my things there. Where's Noah Schultz? Does nobody want him? Yeah, for $4 million, I would bring Noah Schultz back. I think that's a reasonable use of my money. Then again, the question becomes at that point, who moves to the side to give Chris Waters a rotation spot, maybe? We can discuss it. I think there's a reasonable chance that Hirota actually causes a bidding war, even if it's a fairly small bidding war. So that might be nice to have Schultz as like a backup. Oh, I gotta activate John Kennett. Okay, fine. I don't need Josh Betcher, I don't think. I don't need mediocre relievers. Those are a dime a dozen. Ben Watson. I'm happy with my center fielder. I don't need another center fielder. Alright, people seem reasonably okay with my offer so far. So his rotation would then become Charles Jones Van Teen, the Japanese guy, and possibly Schultz. Probably what I do, actually, I'd probably shift Schultz to being the long man out of the bullpen and let Waters have a rotation spot. I think that's a smart idea. Ito could not play first base. Well, he'll just play it in the majors anyway, and he'll like it. Although I am concerned, by the way, he is losing power. Oh, I guess, yeah, he has lost a little bit of power. It's not totally unreasonable that he might get it back at least a little bit. But let me put it to you this way. I see a very tiny chance of him getting his option exercised. I think he's too fucking expensive. Genuinely too expensive. I have too many interesting young players to pay him that much money. And I know the fans would be pretty pissed off at me if I let him walk, but I also don't care. I mean, Garcia's not terrible, but I'm giving you away like legitimate talent for him, and that is not something that interests me. I have my own first base candidates, thank you very much. Hall of Fammy voting. Hall of Famine voting, maybe. I mean, I'll vote for Jacob deGrom. I guess I can vote for Roldis Chapman. I suppose that's fine. I guess I can forgive him for his crimes against the Guardians in 2016. I think Gunnar Henderson is a borderline Hall of Famer. Definitely worth a vote. Lindor and Machado both get voted. Salvador Perez, sure. Want to do Rutschman and Nola? Okay, fine. Corey Seager, sure. Tariq Skubal? I don't know about that one. I'll vote for Yelich first. I have spots on my roster, and while like I think I'd vote for Kyle Tucker and Fernando Tatis and Giancarlo Stanton. But I think I can be persuaded to at least give Tariq Skubal a vote and see how he makes it in. None of these guys is obviously like super duper inner circle Hall of Famer. Bryce Harper, maybe. Gunnar Henderson, possibly. I don't know. I think it's hard to vote in players that have shorter careers like that unless their peak is legendary. Yeah. I don't want Tony Blanco Jr. You're like the old guy I just got rid of, but way more expensive. I don't think so, guys. Personal message. Milwaukee's offering you more money. I'm willing to offer you more money. I have money to offer. I think 10 million isn't out of the realm of possibility. I know he's old, by the way. I recognize there's an element of risk. I'm not getting trapped in a bidding war. I would offer you 14 million, but that is it. If you take the 14 million, great. If you don't take it, then oh well. But I do not have the money that you're looking for. I 100% don't have that much money. Jarrett Shaw sucks. He is uninteresting to me. Yeah, if Hirota takes a different offer from somebody else, that's fine. I back off. Which then ironically means that Noah Schultz gets a bigger role than we expected. Because I do not have the kind of money to pay him like $18 million or whatever it is he actually thinks he's worth. I just don't have that money. I get Salvador Lopez back. What if I didn't do that? I had Salvador Lopez once before. I can't say I'm a fan. Alright, we got Schultz. Everyone's offering me first baseman. I'm fine with my current first base market. Not interested. Give me my own scouts, you miscreant. There you go. We'll put Schultz on the roster. I gotta make room for him on the 40-man. Okay. Okay. David Kelly is 26 years old and is like not even that good. I could probably waive him. And Noah Schultz. Oh my dear, that was a gigantic sneeze. I'm glad I muted the microphone in time. A lot of people are frustrated. That makes me sad. Okay. Well, who among us isn't frustrated in these trying times, right? I feel like Danny Claiborne right now is probably not a guy that is helpful to me on this team. Um, I know he's a tremendous defender. I get that, but Dan Halpern is also pretty decent, and he's also a good hitter. I just think Halpern is more useful to me as like a total package kind of player. Um, yeah, I think we let Mr. Claiborne. I think we trade him to somebody who's more interested in him than we are. I'm not gonna trade him for one. Would I trade him for his third baseman? No, he's a terrible hitter. He's a mediocre outfielder, I guess. I guess there's something in his game. He's also super young. If I'm not going to keep Claiborne anyway, might as well do this. At least it's not going to cost me a 40-man spot. So that's good to hear. I could get Yorman Lecourt. I think I'm fine, guys. I'm gonna try a thing. I'm gonna try putting Bill Shiflett over to first base, and that should hopefully convince you that no, I really do mean that he's a first baseman. Maybe that'll help us stop me getting these silly offers. One could hope. On is getting $28 million a year. That's banana. That is one singular banana. Damn, there's some really high level relief prospects. If that was the kind of thing I was interested in. Hey, it's Felipe Colon. I remember you. I lost Tilmau Faure. That's reasonable, I suppose. That's not the worst thing I've ever heard in history. I could bring Cologne back. It would be funny. But I think Ken Van Duzer is more interesting to me. I think he's got the chance to be like a decent arm, and I think that's the kind of guy that we go after. Mr. Van Duzer, welcome to the White Sox. And I lost Juan Schupman. Okay. This one's a little bit more disappointing. He had a pretty great year in AAA. I just didn't have room for him. I didn't know what to do about him. So there you have it. I mean, do I just take Felipe Colon because it's funny? Maybe? I mean, he's a very interesting prospect, right? Like, it's not like he's worthless. It's more, I've already got plans for first base with Bill Shiflett. Maybe Barry plays second and Ito DHs. Maybe that's something I'm interested in checking out. I don't know. I don't know. I think letting Mr. Schultzhauer here start the year in AAA is probably a fair decision. But maybe So here's my problem with both Ransom and Schultzhauer. Neither one of them have the otherworldly skills that I'm desperately looking for. Schultzhauer at least has a chance to get there, and if he does, we will find a spot for him. But I think it's not unreasonable to start them both in AAA this year. And then maybe let Holstrom get some quality left field experience. He's got a pretty good on base skill. That's something that I value. So, I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't think Felipe Colon moves the needle for me. I know he's a really amazing hitter against left-handed pitching, and I get that. But Shiflett is, if I recall correctly, pretty neutral. He is way better against right-handed pitching. I can't do that, can I? Can I really devote 2 spots to first base? That just seems stupid to me. I could also let Barry play third base and let Maini play first. And then Shiflett can DH, or Maini can DH. I have options here, right? Like, I have choices that I can make. Maini was a pretty bad third baseman, so maybe Maini playing first is a solution. Or Shiflett playing first. I think Shiflett DHs. I think that's where I'm coming down here. So Shiflett DHs. Okay, let's get people where they need to be right now, because I think I need to visualize this. Alright. I'm going to take you off of game strategy. I'm going to say you're no longer forced at third base. I think Maini is my first baseman. But between the two of you, Maini has a pretty good arm. I guess they're actually about equal. I could just let you platoon at first base, but that seems stupid. No, I want Maini playing every day. Because his batting eye is going to play regardless of his batting position. So I think it's Maini, Ito, Barry at third, and Gibbs at shortstop, with Dan Halpern being my utility guy. Playing second and short, occasionally third. This feels like the right choice. It feels like the right decision to give us the best possible team. Yeah. Okay. I am not going to take a first baseman. I think that's something I can't afford to give up right now. Ocelot's Mike Freeborn. That's fine. Let me officially mark all 3 of you as a former Sock. I don't think I lost anybody too distressing. Bro, if the Diamondbacks are going to offer you almost $20 million a year, I cannot keep up with that. Which puts me in an uncomfortable situation. I did not want to basically run it back with last year's rotation. Plus Chris Walters. I really wanted... I mean, I guess it looks like we think Rotondo could be a starter. That's kind of interesting, I suppose. Jason Miller's got a really good chance to be a starting pitcher for us if he recovers well. So I believe it's got to be Chris Waters. Or Walters. Is it Waters or Walters? I don't remember. Oh, Hirota signed in Memphis. How much money did you get? I just wanna check it out. How much money did he make? $18 million a year. I could not have matched that. So you know what, my friend? I wish you well. Chib's 21 million a season. Holy shit. Guys, what are you on about? This contract is gonna age like milk. That's awful. I'm so glad I didn't get suckered into that particular. Oh, Chapman and Harper both made the Hall of Fame? Okay. Whatevs. Hmm. Nothing too crazy happened here. I'm a little shocked Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just disintegrated, but I guess that's just how it is sometimes. Isn't it international amateur signing time? Yeah, it is. Okay. I will take whoever is the best all-around player. I'm not gonna waste my time on a reliever though. That's too much. Um, Rafael Carrion is pretty exciting. Oh, we definitely want everyone on my scout. I do like John Puentes actually. I know, like in terms of raw skill, he's not quite the hitter that the others are, but he's also like a genuinely competent infielder, and I think he's a third baseman born and made. That has enough bat to stick at the position. So there is that. Mm, Vapor Lock? Oh my god. We might have to take him if his nickname is Vapor Lock. What a name. You know what? He is like he's not a top tier second baseman, but I think he's acceptable. I think he probably would be a decent first baseman too. Let's grab Carrion here. Give me 525 230 123. I recognize I'm getting suckered in because of his amazing nickname, but I think that's fine. I think it's more than fine. Oh, I keep forgetting. I want to check out the starter market and see if there's anybody else I can snap up. Damn. Sean Gamble is a low-key, like, solid all-around player that just doesn't have a job for some reason. He's also got leadership up the wazoo. I'd rather have you than Halpern, I think. Let's... You know what? I'll give you a major league contract. I'll put you on the roster right now. I think you're a nifty little player. You make me very happy. I'm not paying Shane McClanahan to not pitch for me. And nobody else here really interests me. Damn, we could kidnap Joel Biddle again. Remember him? I remember him. Sure. We could bring back Mike Braden. Sure, why not? Nice. Yeah, so what this does is Gamble and his skills as both a leader and as a defender, this opens up so many options for our team. John Kennett, what if we did this? Oh wow, Kyle Teal just aged hard. Like right now. That's disappointing. I wasn't quite ready to get rid of him yet, but oh well. Alright. I think we almost have to let Ito walk. I think he's an awkward fit in a lot of ways. Um, and I just think he's too expensive. I just think he's way too expensive. I think people losing all their abilities makes me sad. I wish I'd stop doing that. Excuse me. Okay. It's Alexander Apocalypse? Holy shit. No fucking joke. Um, I demand to know what's going on. That's awesome. Holy shit, man. Like, that's the actual name your parents gave you? Wow. I love it. I love everything about it. Neat. How can you be mad at Alexander Apocalypse, I ask you? How is that conceivable? Alright, spring training begins. Alright. So who's gonna get a shot to make club in spring training? I think all these guys are going to get some opportunities here. Who's a really good player that doesn't have a spot right now? I think Hu Sing quite literally could end up being a third baseman for us at some point. I think letting him get some reps is fine. Mr. Rotondo here can get some reps as a reliever. Matt Lanham. Josh Summers cannot actually catch, but he's kind of close to being an actual catcher, so let's let him get some Rule 5 time, some time in the spring training. That's fine. Brad Heights? Sure. No, if I do Brad Heights, he's out of options, so maybe you don't do that one. This is probably okay. We're going to run with a 6-man rotation and spring training here. And this is exactly who I wanted. Brilliant. Yeah. Cool. Um, Beautiful. Exactly what I expected. Precisely what I expected. Were we going to replace Bautista? I think that was actually on the radar, was replacing him too. Um, I mean, he can't be this bad again. So I think trading him now would be comically stupid, especially when I don't think anyone's going to take his contract. So we're gonna play it by ear. All right, guys. Let's simulate the baseball games. Let's simulate all the baseball games. A personal message. Okay, fine. Some people got better. That's okay. I think the most important thing we want to do this year is find 1 to 2 new starters. That is fucking bullshit. Come on, guys. I've got to shut him down. I cannot let him pitch. He needs to be in the majors this season. So if that means that somebody else like Noah Schultz maybe gets an opportunity for a bit, that's whatever. Jason Miller and John Talbot will be back shortly. That's kind of neat. Waters comes back. That's great. It means he doesn't get a full spring training, but I don't necessarily mind that. Hey, 2036 is a leap year. Okay. That's a long time from now. Maybe you're watching this in 2036 and you're like, hey, this just happened yesterday. That's pretty crazy. If that'd be pretty wild. Player development, Waters got a tiny bit better. Wilson got a little bit better. Talbot is about the same. Some people got worse. So Gumiani getting a little bit worse makes me a little bit sad. I'm not happy about that, but I'll accept it, I suppose. Edwin Hernandez has a chance, guys. He's got a chance to be something truly special. But he needs to actually, like, this needs to go down. He's still super duper young, guys. He's still super duper young. So, I'm not going to worry about it. Johnny Palacios is already getting worse. Well, I signed you last year. Okay. Well, maybe I'm not that worried about it then. Ivan Orozco is going to bounce back instantly. That's pretty cool. I feel like more than we have in recent years, we're relying on rookies to make a big impact. Not just like, oh, you're filling a need. Um, like we have an everyday starter and Herb Berry and Chris Waters are both going to have significant playing time this year. They both offer something that we don't have very much of, um, which is kind of exciting if you think about it. Josh Gibbs missing 7 weeks just opened up the door for Dan Halpern to make the team. Because if that's the case, can Ito play third? Ito cannot play third. I'm not letting Gamble play shortstop. So the question is, does Barry play short? Yes, Barry plays short, and someone else plays third. I guess Singh could play third. But no, I think Barry stays at third, and I think we let Halpern play short, and I think it'll be fine in at least the short term. Even more rookies, guys. Even more rookies. Okay. Kevin Davis is missing a week. I honestly don't know that I wanted to make the roster anyways, so send him to AAA. I mean, fine, I'll do what you want, but I'm gonna send him down as soon as he's healthy. I think Jason Miller has an off chance to be a useful starting pitcher this year, but he's also literally coming off of torn elbow surgery, and I'd rather let him. Um, I'd rather do something else with him. Josh Gibbs is going to miss the start of the season. Okay, fine. I guess we could keep Montes and let him play third base instead of, and then shift Barry over to shortstop. That's probably better, maybe, but also maybe it's not. Hmm. All right. Well, let's get some decisions made. Gumiani, you have pitched amazingly in high A. Let's get you into double A this year. Double A. Matt Lanham might make the team. We're gonna keep looking. Vitor Ritondo will not. How many pitchers do I even have? I have 19 pitchers, so I've got to get rid of 6 of them. Okay. Fine. Morgan, Rodriguez, Talbert. Um, wow, 3 more still gotta go. Okay, fine. I should not have brought Noah Schultz back. I mean, $4 million isn't very much, so I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it, but Castillo to the minors. Lanham to the minors. Between Delgado and Gerling, I probably like Gerling better. That's 13 pitchers. Okay, we are where we need to be. Chris Waters becomes the number 2 starter, and we run a 5-man rotation now. And Noah Schultz can be emergency starter. I have fun how the rest of this is set up. I don't feel any need to mess with it, so we're just gonna leave it alone. I need more proper middle relievers, so are Brace and Crank both helpless against righties? Yeah, they're both pretty bad. Okay, with that being the case, maybe we take a shot at one of these other relievers, because I do want more righties in the pen. Like, I think Josh Talbert isn't an unfair possibility. I know his control isn't great, but it doesn't have to be if you can strike people out at a pretty high clip. We could do Enrique Castillo if we want. I'm kind of into that, actually. But I'm not going to keep Crank and Reyes. If they're basically both the same pitcher. So let me send Reyes to the minor leagues, and let me call up Castillo. And then Castillo can be a middle reliever, too. Mr. Crank, I want you to be my lefty killer, but I also want you to get middle relief work in. And then we can talk about how to set the rest of this up in the future. All right. Pitching staff sorted. I've got to get rid of several position players. Okay. I do not need 3 catchers. The question is, why did I re-sign Kyle Teal? Well, that's one question. I do not need 4 catchers. That's pretty obvious. I feel like we've given Leo Torres enough shots to be the backup catcher to know we know what he is, right? And I'm not just auditioning a backup, I'm auditioning someone who might actually start under the right circumstances. So I genuinely think Josh Summers needs to work out his shit. Josh Summers needs to get better at catching. And I think Leo Torres goes to the minors too. Infield, Hussein goes down to the minors. Montez goes down. What was my decision here? I just come up with how I was gonna divide up the positions here. Oh, sorry, I think we said that Halpern's gonna start the year in shortstop. Okay. I gotta go to 2 outfielders. And I think it's pretty patently, because Kubek is right-handed, of course, I think it's pretty patently Ransom and Schultzhauer. Both of whom might get better if we give them some time in the minor leagues. So this is what we're looking at here. Let's get our lineup set up. Batting, rating Renos. Alberto Maini is the leadoff guy. And I'm pretty sure he is better than Shiflet, so we're gonna have first base and leading off. You're gonna play first base, dude. Alright, that's decision one made. The number two has to be somebody that can really put the ball in play and do a lot of damage with it. I think that actually makes it Shiflet. I think Shiflet can be the number two, especially against right-handed pitching. I feel pretty good about that. It's either Ito then Shiflet or Shiflet then Ito. Shiflet, you're going to DH. Who's our cleanup guy? It's Danny Rios, right? Yeah, it is. Danny Rios, done. And then Garrett Kozic is going to hit fifth. He's somebody that we know, that we trust. Then it's going to be the youngsters. It's going to be Herb Berry hitting sixth. And then... I have 0 legit power hitters besides Rios. That's something I didn't anticipate. Okay. Jonathan Holstrom is just here to be a guy. So we have to... Halpern is slightly better than Bautista, so we're going to go Bautista, and then we're going to bat Teal ninth. Does Shiflet play every day? Is there any reason not to let Shiflet play every day? I think he's still useful against lefty. He's just maybe not as good. I think he maybe gets to keep his job. Or it's Tobias Kubek. Maybe it's Tobias Kubek. I assume you just like... Yeah, you pretty much crushed left-handed pitching. I don't think I can afford to bench Shiflet. I think because of his all-around skill, I think he has to still be in the lineup. He just maybe doesn't hit second. So he's not hitting second, who is? I think it's going to be Jonathan Holstrom. And Shiflet bats a bit lower in the lineup. That's kind of how I'm feeling. So you're going to be the left fielder here. You're going to be Kozic's partner. Ito hits third again. Rios cleans up. Kubek. I want Kubek to get reps. I truly do, but I don't see a path to that at the moment. Herb Berry is going to hit fifth. You're pretty much dead even. You're slightly better against lefties, but it's not an appreciable difference. Then there goes Shiflet. Then there goes Halpern. Then Bautista, and then... Sean Henry, you're pretty good left-handed pitching. Let's let you platoon with Teal, who's the lefty. That feels okay. This feels like probably the right choice. Yeah. Okay. Let's team it up to opening day, and then let's talk about this roster, how we're feeling about it. Man, I don't remember the top 10 anymore. That's sad. Hey, Jason Miller's going to be back at about in a week. Nice. Alright, so what do we got? We are asking an awful lot out of rookies this season. This is the all-rookie season, evidently. Three rookies are in huge positions. Herb Berry and Dan Halpern in the field, and Chris Waters on the rotation. There is just so much pressure on them right now, and I'm hopeful that they can rise to the challenge. Because if they can't, I think this season becomes a very difficult one. I think it becomes very rough. We're also relying pretty heavily on guys that don't have a ton of experience yet. Third and fourth year guys like Maini. Shiflett needs to build off his rookie campaign to be even better than he was. A lot is riding on his shoulders. And I think he can carry the load, but it will not be easy. But I have faith in him, and if he is a positive, big-time producer like we think he can be, I think we're going to be in great shape. We're relying on Rios to prove that last season was not a fluke, that he is this kind of power hitter. We're even relying on Garrett Kozic to just keep doing what he's been doing, to be a positive force for good in the batter's box. But I think the difference between being a good season and a great season comes down to Herb Berry. If Herb Berry can take all of his potential and turn it into actual performance this season, I think we're one of the best teams in the league. I truly believe that. Dan Halpern is also being asked to do a lot. He's got a lot of value to him too, even he's actually not from Steampunk, which makes me a little bit sad. But he's really fast. He can handle shortstop, at least in the short term. Will Gibbs get his job back as soon as he's healthy? Of course he will, but at least we have the option. We can also count on bounce back seasons from Ito and in particular Bautista. Both of whom had significantly lower BABIPs than they've ever had before. And neither one of whom is like so destitute, like so old, that I shouldn't be able to expect them to have unreasonable bounce back season. So yeah. Teal might be cooked. Teal just might be done at this point, and if he is, then we'll just opt out of it. We'll just find something to do with him next year. Waters also has very important role in this club. I think he can probably handle it, but we should be aware of the fact this is not a guy that's pitched a ton of innings in the minor leagues. Like, he hasn't pitched 100 innings in a season until last year. Some of which is in the draft league. So, like, a lot is riding on his right shoulder. If he doesn't work out, I have a couple of other choices here, but Josh Morgan scares me, you guys. He really scares me. I don't know that I can trust him. Maybe I can. Maybe I'm being foolish, but I don't think I am. Jason Miller has a real chance to be a starter in the not-too-distant future. I want him to rehab. I wanted to rehab before I even consider calling him up, but... what am I thinking long-term? I want to replace him for Bautista. I want somebody that can handle center field if we need him to. Schultz-Hauer is not that guy. I don't think he's got really big things to offer us as a club. I think if he can destroy pitching in AAA, I think he's got a real chance to be a really nice piece, a really helpful and useful player. I think Hu-Sing, very realistic chance to be a third baseman at some point. Maybe not one for a very long time, but one as a possibility. But I do need more center field help. Which Holstrom can kind of play, but not as well as Bautista. Who is next man up? Who do we think is the next good center fielder on this club? They're all in the high minors. I guess that makes sense. Probably. Mm, well. Center field may be one of those positions we need to spend some time on, you know? Oh, we like actually Johnny Palacios better than Dan Halpern. I absolutely do not. Maybe someday, but not right now. Okay. Well, Edwin Hernandez really needs to just stay in the minors for at least 2 more seasons, I think. This guy's fucking huge, man. I never even noticed that. 6'9", 235. That's a big guy. That's real big. Fun. Are we gonna be a good team this year? Probably. I think postseason is very much a possibility. I think we are a better team. I think Barry and Halpern offer us more flexibility than I think we've had in a while. Um, I think Maini playing first base is going to help us by addition, by subtraction, because we get him out of the field. He wasn't a very good third baseman, so letting him play first is a great way to deal with that. Um, I think Ito bounces back. I think Bautista bounces back. I think Teal maybe slightly bounces back. Um, and then we just build on our rotation success. I wish we'd gotten the starter that I wanted. I really wish that was something that we got. Missing out on that Japanese fellow may be something that ends up biting us in the butt, but I was never going to go to the level that he wanted. Um, I think it's a very realistic chance as Ito's last season. Um, I cannot imagine spending $42 million on this version of Ito. If Ito has a big season, I'm more than happy to let him get another year. But I think a world in which Halpern plays second base is still something we can be proud of. I still think there's value in that. So, um, yeah. But I genuinely think there's a good chance that we let Ito walk. I get it that Ito's probably the closest we're ever going to get to a Hall of Fame candidate, at least at this point in our careers. But for him to be paid $40 million a year, he has to be basically an MVP candidate. I'm not saying he has to win the MVP. It would be nice if he did. But he has to be in the conversation. He has to be regularly getting top 10 votes to make that kind of money. Um, and I don't know that he's got it in him. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he steps in the season, is like, bitch, I'm back, and turns in a great season. I really hope that that happens. But if it doesn't, I have to be ready to move on. And I think it's something that's going to happen either way. Just for fun. Yeah, he wants to basically pay the same amount. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen. I didn't think he would take I didn't think he'd take a pay cut. So it's a conversation to have. If we can maybe flip Ito and save money while also opening up a spot for other young and talented players. Hell, Jay Brown could stand around at second base maybe for you. Okay, probably not Jay Brown, but yeah. I'll always be grateful to Ito for being our first superstar, our first really marketable guy. And I still think he could make the Hall of Fame. I think there's a world in which he puts together 3 to 4 more great seasons and is really in that conversation. He's worth about 5 wins a year, give or take. So we want him to get into the 60 range. That's kind of what tells us that yes, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, which is 6 more years. No, it's 5 more years. Yeah, it's 5 more years of 5 WAR. I'd love for him to do that, even if it's not with me. Even if it's not with me. I also like a fucking owner that would let me put more money on my player payroll, but evidently that's asking too much. Stab is happy. That's cool. That's cool to see. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you think we should do with Ito. Do we say goodbye to him now? Do we let him build up another season of value? What do we think? Until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.